Information on our first seasonal worlds is here. These limited time worlds will feature unique rule sets, with the first iteration having an always-on PvP configuration, accelerated leveling, and exclusive rewards. The first iteration of seasonal worlds introduces a PvP-focused rule set where players are flagged for PvP at all times after reaching level 15 or choosing a faction. I'll link the notes down below, but let's jump into a broad overview of what they just released. The first seasonal world will release in 1 week from today on January 21st. All items and stuff from our understanding will be locked to this server. On this server, all player experience, weapon mastery, and trade skill experience is increased by 25%. For the most part, everything will remain the same, but there are 2 specific gear types as well as some resources that are new and specific for this server. Outside of that, durability is coming back for these 2 gear types, as well as for any of the new gear types or resources. When you die, they will be dropped. The 2 new gear types are Ethereal and Conquerors. Ethereal, from what it looks like, will be available from the start. You should be able to craft these pretty easily. Conquerors, on the other hand, is unlocked by opening Ethereal Animus, a chest that drops resources for Conqueror's gear. But it is noted that we will start with 1 recipe for the Conqueror gear, a heavy set, I believe. Gear drops will be normal on the server from what it looks like. You can equip the gear and play the game as normal without fear of losing that gear or losing any of your normal items. If you choose to equip or create Ethereal or Conqueror's gear, you open yourself up to losing durability on these items as you play, as well as losing them when you die. In addition to these 2 items, Ethereal Dust, Ethereal Animus, and Wrathstones have been introduced as well. There may be other currencies that haven't been mentioned yet, but these 3 currencies are noted to be dropped as well when you die. When you die, all Ethereal and Conqueror gear is dropped, and if you have any of the Dust or Wrathstones, that also will be dropped. As far as we know, Ethereal Dust is used to craft Ethereal gear, or you can use 100 Ethereal Dust to make an Ethereal Animus. This item is opened and it gives you 2,500 experience, as well as some crafting mats, mount items, heart rooms, and the possibility of a crafting recipe for Conqueror gear. Ethereal Dust can be obtained by breaking down ethereal gear, or by refining wood or fiber, hide, or stone into ethereal dust at a crafting station. We don't have any information on Wrathstones right now, outside of the fact that you obtain these items by farming elite point of interests, darkness breaches, and gathering resources while wearing specific ethereal items. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Wrathstones are probably used to craft Conqueror gear. Ethereal and Conqueror gear will be infinitely more powerful than normal gear. You may not drop your normal gear on death, but you will be completely outmatched by people who choose to use this seasonal gear. All Ethereal and Conqueror weapons have an increased base damage of 20%. All of the armor and jewelry have 3% damage absorption already baked into them, at the downside of none of these items being able to have a gem slot. Ethereal gear has a level 15 requirement, and Conqueror gear has a level 20 requirement. Ethereal gear should be more cheap to craft, and it's noted that Tier 2 will have a base gear score of 350, Tier 3 will have a base gear score of 600, Tier 4, 700, and Tier 5, 725. On this server, PvP will turn on at 15. In their notes, it says level 15 or when you choose a faction. So I will make a note that as it currently stands, I will default to saying that it most likely just auto turns on, but I do see a world where you could not choose a faction and you might be able to avoid the forced PvP. As it currently stands, we don't know, but at level 15, everything comes online. You also unlock your mount at level 15 without the need to do the mount mission. Once you hit 15, you can go to a camp and apparently you can craft it there, along with other mount items. Heart runes are unlocked from the start of the server, but they do note that you won't be able to equip them until 65. At least that's how I'm reading it. Some final notes on the rewards and maybe reasons why you would do this server is they state that seasonal exclusive rewards like titles, mount attachments, and skins will be handed out for participating, And in addition to that, you can obtain these same things from the seasonal journey that will come along with this seasonal world. It's unclear whether there will be a special seasonal track for this seasonal world in addition to the normal seasonal pass. But from what they're saying, you should be able to obtain a lot of these rewards from the seasonal pass. But there will be specific leaderboards on the seasonal server. They do note that to obtain rewards from the seasonal server, you must purchase the premium pass. So I'm assuming that on your normal server, you can obtain the normal rewards as normal. But if you want to get the seasonal rewards from the seasonal world, you will have to purchase the premium pass. Again, it's unclear whether you have to participate in the seasonal world to obtain these rewards or not yet. In addition to that, they state that you can compete with your company or by yourself to earn unique rewards on a seasonal server specific leaderboard. These rewards will come in as mount attachments, a helm skin, a tent skin, and a new PvP focused housing trophy. This trophy will provide a bonus to PvP experience when equipped in your house. Participating in this seasonal server will give you access to this trophy before other people will be able to access it in future seasons. Lastly, when the season concludes, players will not lose their progress. These characters will transfer over to a new server, and items like Ethereal and Conqueror's gear will be converted to competitive item replacements with perks focused on PvP, and the gear score will have an impact on the tier level of the gear. These items will also be bound to your character, and they give an example that Conqueror's gear will be converted to gear score 715 items, while tier 5 Ethereal gear will be converted to 705 gear score items. So the goal would be to end with as much Conqueror's gear as possible. One final note that I don't know if I said before as well, but they will be giving us an additional character slot for the release of these seasonal worlds. So if you already have 4 characters, do not worry about having to delete a character. They will release an additional character slot so that you can join the server and make a new character. And guys, that was a quick update, just throwing that out there. As soon as we just got the news in, I will link the news post below so you can read it for yourself. And I look forward to seeing you guys in a week on the new seasonal server.